Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
This is my top 5 signs that you are getting old, or I'm getting old. I don't know. This is a top 5 list that was inspired by a recent episode of All Fantasy Everything. I highly recommend you check out that podcast. Download, subscribe, rate, review. Let them know that I love them and they love you. Go check them out. All Fantasy Everything. So yeah, this is my personal top 5 signs that I am getting old. Right? There's a lot of signs that I'm getting old, aside from just the fact that it's farther and farther away from 1980, the year I was born, 40 years old, which doesn't feel like I'm 40. I really stopped after I hit 30. I kind of really stopped acknowledging my age as much. It's not something that I think about until I just turned 40, and I was like, I guess that's a big decade milestone that just passed. I don't feel 40, but at the same time, I feel definitely 40. But let's get into it with my top 5 signs that you're getting old. Starting with number 5, I would say is my taste in food. I think that over time, my palate and desire to eat different foods has grown quite a bit. I remember a time spending the night over at a friend's house. I was a kid, spending the night over at a friend's house, and his dad decided to make liver and onions, which liver stereotypically is a food that is not liked by a lot of people, right? It's an acquired taste. It's a taste that I enjoy liver more now than I did then. Still not my favorite thing. I can kind of get past it knowing how good liver is for you, like all the nutrients that are in liver. So, I'm able to, older I get, kind of consume things that may not taste the best, but I know are going to fuel my body in a way that will be beneficial. But I remember not being able to eat it. Just the smell of it was repulsive as a kid. And I remember being punished by his parents for not eating. Like, I was not fed dinner because I wouldn't eat the liver and onions. And he's like, it's all ego. I bruised this man's ego, this adult man who made liver and onions. And he's like, oh, I make the best liver and onions. Everybody will love my liver and onions because I make it the best. It's like, well, I can't get past the smell, asshole. So in addition to liver, there's a lot of other things. And I've just been experimenting with a lot of different meals through this meal delivery service that I get. That's like they send you the ingredients and you make everything. And so I get a lot of different meals that I've never made and just stuff that I've never eaten before in like restaurants. So it's like I'm much more open with my palate, as it were. And I have a much finer palate, a taste for things. So my food tastes have changed, even though I still enjoy I can still go back and drink malt liquor and eat junk food. It's like I know that they just taste different. They have I know my body's going to regret my decisions later on. But that's my number 5 choice, my taste in food. My number 4 sign that I am getting old is my lack of desire to go to parties or large gatherings like concerts or festivals. Like partying in general, not something I don't have the desire to do that. I don't have that FOMO, that fear of missing out that I may have used to get, wanting to hang out with friends and coworkers and go party and get drunk and have fun. It's just like, nothing about that sounds like fun. I don't really enjoy being around a lot of people. I'm definitely more of an introvert. If I drink enough alcohol, I become an extrovert. But I don't even necessarily like the person I become. I become a little bit too loud and a little bit too much, I think. I think I'm a little bit too much when I get drunk. And I can't help but get drunk. Like when I'm in a party or I'm around people, I tend to drink far more and far faster than I normally would, and I think that's just out of nerves and knowing that alcohol will calm the nerves, but then also unleash something that could potentially be annoying and regretful. But yeah, number 4 of my top 5 signs you're getting old is not having the desire to go party or go to large gatherings. Like I've come to a point in my life where I'm perfectly okay. Like I don't mind hanging out with a small group of people or whatever, but I'm not going to house parties. I'm not going to clubs. I was never a club guy anyway, but I'm not even going to and especially after a pandemic, like I don't really have any desire to go to a bar that's like full of people. Like just anytime you're like surrounded by a lot of people, I don't even like waiting in line. Like even going to a crowded grocery store is something that I have no desire for, even though I can get lost on my phone, have headphones on, and kind of don't even have to be there mentally. I just rather avoid it altogether. And that, for me, is my number 4 sign that I am getting old, the fact that I do not want to be around people. My number 3 sign that I am getting old is the tried and true pain. Pain. I'm experiencing pain all the time, constantly, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. If I sit weird, if I stand weird, if I do anything for any amount of time that's not normal, I am in pain. Everything hurts. Things that hurt, like I'm just always nursing some kind of pain. It's like my hip hurts, my back hurts, my lower back, my upper back, my shoulder, my elbow, my ankles, my toes. Like there's always some form of pain that I'm dealing with, it seems like, and it's a constant thing. And I'm not even doing stuff, right? I guess if I was probably more active and just in better shape, physical fitness, I'd probably be in less pain. But despite that, it's pain is like, there's just a time throughout your 30s where it's just like it creeps up on you. You don't even notice it. Like you get aches and pains here and there, but they really start to settle in more and more as you get older. And it's not something I enjoy. And it's just a sign that, it's ridiculous how easily I can become in pain. Not necessarily injured, although I'm sure that can happen much easier now as well. But the pain aspect of it is it's just ridiculous. So that's my number 3 sign that I'm getting old, is that just pain. If you're in pain a lot, you're getting older. That's just what pain is. And just like a lot of chronic pain, like it's pain where you can predict weather patterns, right? Like, oh, my knee hurts. It must be raining soon. Like if you're able to, if you're in enough pain regularly enough to where you can see the correlation between your pain and just the barometric pressure in your area, then that's a sign you're getting old too. Just you've lived long enough to see those patterns starting to emerge. But yeah, number 3 is pain. My number 2 sign that I am getting old is recovering from a hangover, or just hangovers themselves. Hangovers are far worse. They suck far more, and there's no bounce back. Like, I mean, even having bad hangovers in my 20s, I'd still, like, it would take a few hours and I'd be fine, right? For the most part, I'd be pretty good. But, the hangovers now could take me out for a whole day or maybe even into the second day. Like hangovers, there's been probably one of the last times I went to a party, I drank too much because that's just what I do at parties because I'm getting old. And I just can't handle it. I mean, I can handle the booze, but I just can't handle being around people, and then just can't handle, my body can't handle processing the booze. So the hangovers just are ridiculous. They just take me out in a way that really make it difficult to exist in those moments. But yeah, definitely. I mean, it's something that it's another thing that you don't really realize. It like creeps up on you, and then you realize that like, oh man, it just takes me forever to recover from a hangover. And they're just so much worse. And it's like they're harder to, like, the idea of hangovers in your 20s is just like a mild speed bump in the course of your life. Hangovers in your 40s is like, I made huge life mistakes. It's not like a little speed bump. But hangovers are my number 2 sign. The worse and longer lasting hangovers are my number 2 sign that I'm getting old. My number 1 sign that I am getting old is not knowing the names of people who are celebrities. It's like you want to feel like you live in a different world altogether. There is a point where people will start talking about celebrities and you will not know who they are. It won't matter if they're talking about actors, musicians, and now social media personalities, which is a thing that didn't even exist growing up. The amount of celebrities there are now, like TikTok celebrities and, Instagram celebrities and all these kind of YouTube celebrities and all these different kinds of social media celebrities. There's a moment that will happen where people will start talking about famous, well-known people globally that you will never, it will take you years to know who they are. I remember when I first heard of Billie Eilish, it was like a couple years after she had been like a big thing. Like it was nothing new. I remember driving people back when I used to drive Uber and Lyft, driving for Coachella, not knowing any of the headliners, not knowing anybody, like maybe one or two, like, oh, Beyonce, I know that name. But like Migos, I don't know who that is. Like so many people, I have no idea. And that's just, it's something that there's nothing, I mean, I guess I could go research, but, and I was going to put on my list, I was going to put not liking new music, but that's not true. Despite not knowing their names, there is still music that's being put out. It's different, it's new, it's obscure, but I enjoy that. I enjoy new and obscure stuff. So, like, the fact that music is different and changing quite a bit from what it used to be, I'm perfectly fine with that. But not knowing the names of these people is crazy to me. To just like, it really felt like all of a sudden I woke up and I just don't know any celebrities' names. But that is my number 1 sign you're getting old. It's just something you can't avoid. You can avoid pain, I'm sure, if you stay in good physical fitness. You can expand your palate when you're younger. People don't like parties and large gatherings when they're younger. Hangovers are never really that good. But when you all of a sudden are existing in a world that is completely different from popular culture and not knowing all the people who exist in that framework of society and not knowing those celebrities' names is just that's kind of mind-blowing. And it is my number 1 sign that you're getting old. So let me do my top 5 signs you're getting old one more time. Starting at number 5, your taste in food changes. Number 4, parties, large gatherings become very unattractive and unappealing. Number 3 is pain, constant chronic pain. Aches and pains, you're just constantly nursing pain. Number 2 is hangovers. They last longer. They're more powerful. They're just a bigger disruption to life than they ever were. And my number 1 sign that you're getting old is not knowing the names of popular cultural people and celebrities like musicians, actors, and social media influencers, although those are people that nobody should really know their names. It's actually, I would consider it a negative if somebody came in dropping names of like social media influencers. It'd be like, yeah, good for you. But that's probably another sign that I'm getting old. But I'm not going to acknowledge that in this list. And make sure, again, go check out All Fantasy Everything. It is the podcast that inspired this show, and they did an episode on signs that they are getting old, which I would highly recommend checking out as well. But yeah, let me know, what are your top 5 signs that you are getting old? Let me know in the comments. Hit me up on social media at Ray Taylor. What makes you feel old? Let me know. And tell me if I'm wrong in anything. I'm always down for being wrong because I usually am. Sign up for Ting and get yourself $25 in credit on your new cell phone service, or get yourself $25 and put it towards a new device. Go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. That's TING. You'll get cell phone service that you don't pay an arm and a leg for. It's amazing service that's part of all the major cell phone networks. But sign up today through my link. Get yourself $25 in credit that you can apply to a new cell phone. You can apply it to your service. But it's amazing cell phone service that I've used for many, many years. So go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!